Please leave a message after the tone.
You got 7 questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice?
This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new client. After dark.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan After Dark. I am Joe.
I'm Caleb.
A4. I don't know what the hell was going on, by the way. I just saw you have like a stressed out look on your face. You said please, and then I guess the song played.
Well, we do this live for those who don't know. Please follow us on twitch.tv/NudeClanGaming in order to watch us do this. But Schweiss has not yet set up the After Dark jingle on his jingle program. And when he realized after we started the 10 seconds of silence, that 10 seconds of silence turned into about a minute of silence while Schweiss had to look for the sound file on the laptop very quietly. As I stood there waiting in pain. That's what happened. And I was like, please, God, start the goddamn song.
And then I did. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Zach is not here this week. He had to go eat dinner somewhere. I don't know. With some family thing.
That's a weird name for his girlfriend's pussy, but
That's what I call
somewhere with his family thing.
it. His mom's pussy, whatever.
Anyway, we are going to answer
It's
some of your
all
questions.
dinner to me.
Oh, Jesus.
he could have lied about the family thing.
By the way, after this episode, guys, go onto our Discord or follow, find me on Twitter at JosephBigolier. I have put a tweet out asking for questions for Nude Clan 300, which, if I have timed this out right, should be the next episode of Nude Clan. So please ask us your questions. It is a no holds bar Q&A. So Nude Clan 300, I can't believe how many fucking episodes of this show we have done. I have done less than 300 by quite a bit, but Schweiss,
Not as little as me.
Schweiss has done, what, 299 of those 300? That doesn't include the After Dark, by the way. We're well in past that.
Yeah, I think I haven't been on. I wasn't on the Roller Coaster Tycoon because I left to get Mario Hoops.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the interview you guys did. You guys only did one interview, right?
They did too.
We did we did too. We did Kinky Fridays and the Q
yeah.
from Honey Pop.
So I haven't been on 3 episodes. But there's one episode that only I was on.
Okay,
so.
So assuming you come in next week to your house
Yes.
to record, you will have done 297 of those episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
297.
Way to go. Way to go. And I, of course, was not on the show for 2 years. So
Well, A4 wasn't on the show for like 3 years. So, I mean.
Yeah, I was about to say.
4. How many
Yeah.
years of Nude Clan have we done? 5, right?
It would have to be
Yeah, it
more
would
than
have to be
6 because no, it'd have to be more than 6 because we're almost on episode 300. It's only
No.
52 weeks in a year.
No, hold on. We started in January 1st, 2016, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we do it. It's on the year. Like, we started at the beginning of a year.
Yeah.
We didn't have some random date.
So it's 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, so A4 is right. You're both right.
2016.
You're both pretty. You're both pretty.
Yeah, 6
Hey,
years.
wait, hold on. Because
We're-
also,
So we are in our 7th year right now.
yeah, but you guys don't count After Dark
Kill
as the
me.
same episode
Just
count.
kill
There's
me
like 100
right
of those.
now.
So what the hell happened?
Yeah,
with
we
the-
don't count the After Dark.
We
This
did the
is
After
not-
Dark in the middle of weeks and shit, and now we do it as a weekly. And it's
Oh,
all
that's
over.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to do
Okay.
it as the
We
bi-weekly.
used to have a two episodes a week.
Yeah.
for a
I
while.
forgot.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's changed. It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
So, our first question here is from Digimass. Hello, Nude Clan. Been listening to your old episodes. Thank you very much, by the way.
Yeah.
And I miss the magic of Caleb Craig, the wizard.
Come on, dude.
Dude, I've got a spell to do. They can wait. Have you guys thought about fatting up A4 and making him say dude in the Craig way? The Craig way.
He's probably the least fattable person here. I mean,
Dude,
Joe and
I can't
are
get fat. It's impossible. My metabolism's too fucking strong. I eat like dog shit, and I still probably only weigh like 150 pounds.
Yeah, he's gonna die at like 40 of old age. He's gonna rapidly age because his metabolism is just so fucking fast.
I think I'm the oldest person here, and like, yeah, I can't gain weight. It's impossible.
Well, do you want to say dude a lot though? It's also
I mean, yeah, I could do that. I could say dude and then blame the game for me losing instead of my lack of skill. I could absolutely do that.
Yeah, you know, in response to that being said by someone who's not here long ago, I played a lot of Cuphead with controller drift, and I don't know why I did that, but I did. And I actually checked my save file, and I died more this time around than I did last time. But I don't think I had. I think I had the Pro Controller last time, but I just got worse somehow by like 16 deaths. It was like 16 more times dying.
wow.
So, yeah. But I played that game with controller drift, and I beat it with controller drift. So
I mean, I wouldn't want
Greg can fuck off.
the first new host we had was Zach.
Yeah.
And I mean, Zach just guested on some episodes, and I thought it was funny. So, when you guys decided to bring him on, he definitely had my vote as far as like, yeah, Zach's funny, bring him on. And he brings a little bit of a different energy to it. It was a listener that we used to hang out with on PSN a lot back when our schedules were different. But I think my first choice as a replacement for me at the time was Branny, who
Right.
I still think would be a great choice, but Branny didn't want to do it. And then we got Zach, and then you guessed it a lot, and then now you're on the show.
Yeah. Pretty soon we'll have, Dead Islander on the show.
Depends.
The Raging Asian Cajun. Like everyone that's guested a lot. It's like,
Crin, yeah, Crin.
Crinital. We'll all just leave, and it'll just be a host's a show about the new host talking about the old host.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be meta times 1,000.
Super meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just like, look, they don't want to play the games, and we're not going to fatten up A4. A4's got to be A4. Zach's got to be Zach.
Yeah. The old days, the golden age is over.
I don't really see it that way at all.
Dude, my favorite episodes are all
No,
old
I see it
episodes.
that way, and I'm
And I
on
know-
the damn show.
I know I sound like a person that's like old movies are better than new movies, but they are. But the only reason why they are is because there's more of them.
They already exist, too.
Yeah.
That's
So like it's technically true, but it's true on like a deeper level. I don't know. And there is something that's missing. It's not.
it's anger. Yeah, like there's no. We've taken out the abuse of the shows.
But that was the fun part. It
I
was
know,
us fucking around.
I know that was part of it, but you just can't live like that forever. You cannot.
Yes, I can.
Two of these people can't live like that forever. You can't have hard deadlines.
I could.
Hard deadlines with like, you better beat this or else we're gonna verbally abuse you for 5.5 weeks on this weekly show.
Yeah.
And you
I mean-
must be there.
I mean, I've already got a fucking sound clip saved for when you're inevitably gonna drag this show down because you're playing Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2 has screwed us again.
I don't think so. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. It'll probably be beaten very fast. I'm sorry, A4. You're not going to actually use that drop.
Well, then I'll just play the other one now.
Where was Kingdom Hearts 2 during Hurricane Katrina, eh?
Where the fuck did you get that drop?
There was an X-Play sketch when they were like doing like their Game of the Year awards, and for like the RPG one, they had like an attack campaign against Kingdom Hearts 2, and because then like the lady is like, well, we could always vote for Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne instead.
Oh wow. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to fatten up A4. A4's got to be the skinny little twerp that he is over there.
You also can't. You also just straight up can't fatten me up. It's not
I
happening.
can fatten you up. I can fatten you up, A4, no problem.
I doubt it.
A4, do you want the challenge?
The fat
What's the
ass
challenge?
Here's the deal. I don't know where A4, I'm looking at your desk right now, and I'm not seeing a jar of peanut butter with a spoon in it.
Or a bowl of
No,
melted
but like
cheese.
I would. No, but I
A4.
could like dip. I could dip like pretzels in the peanut butter.
No.
Doesn't need a spoon.
Pretzels are not calorie dense enough.
They're healthy.
They're not really healthy.
What
but
about dipping? What about dipping Doritos in salsa con queso?
that works.
That's a start.
I like that. Yeah, that's a start.
Okay, because I've done that
But,
before.
I mean, you should literally be doing that spoonful of peanut butter about every 30 minutes.
Okay, is this like
No, I'm
a
giving you a
crazy
diet.
thing? Is this like a thing where you were like trying to gain like a lot of protein at once or something?
No. I'm just giving you calorie. Like if you think I can't fatten you up, and I promise you, I can fatten you up if you let me fatten you up. A4, I know how to get fat fast.
Yeah, there's
And I
one
know
thing.
how to
problem.
stay skinny. So
Now,
it's
now
like-
my genetics are definitely on the pack fat on real quick side of things. I obviously have been born with more fat cells than you. That's clear. But believe me, just first thing you need to do is quit caffeine, because that raises up your heart rate. You got to stop that shit
Oh
immediately.
well, that explains it.
No.
All I do every day is I take black coffee and I dump a Monster in there, and then I drink it until my eyes vibrate.
No, I'm telling you, well, that's like an extra. That burns like an extra like 50 calories a day. You got to stop walking
Sick.
completely. You got to stop. Just stop that walking. Stop that walking. Stop that running.
All I
that
do at
exercising
work
you
is
do.
walk.
I'm sorry, but you're
going
gonna have to quit your job.
Damn,
If you want to get fat, you're gonna have to quit your job. You
I
understand?
don't really want to get fat.
Oh, well, the fuck, man. What the fuck? Why am I even talking about this then? Such an asshole.
I'm just saying, even if I wanted to get fat, it would never happen.
All right. What's our next question? Do you see it by any chance? Because Schweiss pulled up a screen.
Sorry, it's speaking of Digimass. Caleb Craig's on the pod today.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he's not, but thanks anyway, Steven. I wish. I mean, I guess I don't wish, but
I don't know.
I wish that he would want to be here.
Yeah.
I also don't, unlike Craig, I also don't have the ability to just break every single game that I touch, like, involuntarily. So,
That's
know.
true. Well,
no
we're
funny
also
glitches
not,
coming from me.
I think one of the things is like we're not forcing people to beat games. So
It's kind of, well, we did that for him. For answer to his problem.
What do you mean?
We did the new format, the like
Oh, the new
ebbs and flows,
lackadaisical
and
format.
we get really into games where we're being chased by some freak monster for a little while, and then we don't play anything. Yeah, we did that for him
And Cameron.
and Cameron. And this is the thanks we get.
Desertion.
Desertion, yeah.
Well, okay, that
At
means
least
we
give
can
me
go back to
dessert with
forcing.
that.
That means we can go back to forcing everyone to beat games. So I'm gonna need you guys to beat Sonic Adventure by next month. Stat.
That's not how we chose games. If you
Well-
remember, we used to nominate them, and then they would be voted on.
I missed the votes.
I nominate Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, I think actually the votes really helped us, because even though like our downloads are pretty steady with what they used to be, right?
Yeah.
Without actually saying what the numbers are, they definitely dipped when I left, but they've been on a steady like increase over time.
Hate to humble
Since
brag
then.
here, but
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys.
I killed the show by leaving.
I'm back. I'm back, motherfuckers. But the show format's definitely different. I miss the votes too. I think
I
that
miss
was
campaigning on like things I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What that helped with was audience participation.
I think we
So-
should do that, and we should do what he was talking about with like the old G4 stuff, where we like do actual like fucking campaigns against
that'd be funny.
like hit piece ads.
Hey,
If we
man,
brought our blogs back, we could do like
That's-
legit hit pieces on like
we're not bringing the blogs
the
back.
game.
I'm not making another fucking website.
I think
ever
we need
again.
another website.
We have it's called geekdomentertainment.net. We had to move over because we decided to get rid of the websites and then decided we needed a website again.
For things
I mean,
that we
let's
didn't
just do a
actually
quick
use.
hypothetical here. If we were going to nominate a game each right now, what would yours be?
Oh, to play next?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Halo 4.
Well, no. Okay, one that we weren't already planning on doing.
Zelda 2 Adventure of Link.
Okay, that works.
That's what popped into my head for some reason.
I was
That
thinking
works.
Zelda earlier too when I was pissing.
It's been
but
a
that's
while
because you
since
guys were
we've done
talking
Zelda.
about Zelda while I was pissing.
That's true. That's true. I've never played a Gears of War. I would like to play a Gears
I would
of War.
nominate Chick-fil-A's chicken deluxe, spicy deluxe
Nice.
combo meal with an extra.
Weren't you going to play
medium
the
fry.
Hooters game or something? Hooters Road Trip?
I put it in my PS3 when I was drunk like a few weeks ago, and it wouldn't load. It
Oh,
didn't.
no.
Oh, weird.
It doesn't play.
Oh no. Try it
Yeah.
on a real PS1.
I'll try it on my PS2.
Okay.
I think my PS3 is kind of like becoming Joe's PS3, where it's like kind of iffy on PS1 games now. It's annoying.
It happens, man.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I did that. I knew.
I don't know why I had to argue my case about this for months on end about
Because
like,
like,
the
a
PS1
few
games
months
not
ago,
working.
a few months ago, I popped in Croc to my PS3, and it totally just played fine. So
I
don't
think
know.
Hooters Road Trip might be a fake game, but I might have been bamboozled.
You just bought a fucking blank Memorex CD in like a jewel case with
Yeah.
a printout of Hooters Road Trip.
It was sealed, but now I'm not so sure.
People can use shrink wrap machines, believe it or not.
Yeah, and who would not open this game and play it immediately? So
We have a question on here from Felicia Nomiko, which I have no way of answering at all. What is proper strip club etiquette? It's talking and joking with the girls acceptable, or am I just supposed to stare at them in silence while they dance? I like to chat the girls up, but my husband wants to watch them dance. Thoughts?
that's
I
a
have
really
never been to a strip club.
that's a strange.
I've also never been to a strip club, so I can't weigh in on this.
Joe and I were gonna.
we were gonna.
when
it was
we were
gonna
in
be too
Vegas.
expensive though.
But we were cheap. We were too cheap to even go like gamble on $50 poker tables back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day when I was so anti-debt.
Now we would go.
Now I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, man. I don't care.
But we looked at the reviews for the only one that we thought was reasonable, and one of the guys was like, I don't know, they do a pretty good job. They get up there and they give it their all. But some of them rolling out to be my mom, and when we read that, we were like,
Yeah.
I just
We're
feel
only
like
like
that. I feel
20.
like it's just a granted when you go to a strip club that like you're gonna get some older ladies who haven't gotten shot or whatever.
I don't know how they made it, but
I don't know. And I definitely thought about I was driving by Vegas one day on one of my road trips, and I was like, what if I just stopped by and actually saw some tits? Because I was like really horny, and I was like, I just want to see some breasts. And they're right there. It's Vegas is right there. I'm passing it
There's
right
a whole
now.
city full of breasts.
There's a whole city full of titties. And I never did it. I was just like, no, I can't go there by
if I
myself.
do that, I'll
if I go
just-
there by myself, I'm gonna look like a fucking creep.
I'm gonna end up whipping my dick out, and I'm
I'm
definitely
definitely never gonna do that.
I'm gonna get kicked out.
Fringe philosopher actually has the correct answer, which is talk to them with a mouthful of food.
There you go.
Go up to
Yeah.
a stripper with a mouthful of boneless wings and be like, "Oh, what size is that pussy?"
Are your pussy as big as your tits?
I know that it's not a strip club, but it always has that air about it because the women wear very tight t-shirts at Hooters. Me and Timo used to go to the movies in Burbank, California, and there was a Hooters right next to the thing, and we'd have to pass it. And I swear to God, they never fixed the lights, but on one side it said Hooters. It said Hooters without an H.
They should have had like
And
a.
then
now
the
Choice
other
has to-
side, and
Choice
the
has
other
to go
corner.
there. Choice has to go there, buy that franchise, put a C
my
next
God.
to it so it's Cooters.
Yeah.
The other
Hooters.
corner of the building was odor. So it was so Timo and I would joke that it was a hipster place called Odor and Ooters, which it's still funny to me. I don't know. It's just they never fixed the fucking light. It was out there for like a year, going to Burbank, going to see movies, and Odor and Ooters always shining on me as I was.
This Ooter is real odorous.
There's a Sherwin-Williams paint store near me that has like the sign is burnt out, so it just at night it just says "She will pain."
Schweiss, have you seen the graffiti on going up to Salt Lake on the side? There's like a haunted place. Kid, what are you doing? Jace, what are you doing? I don't want to tell the story when you're in the room.
All right, go upstairs, dude. No, you can go upstairs.
While you're waiting for that,
Go ahead.
she will pain is very fucked up considering that Sherwin-Williams logo is also a paint bucket of red blood being poured on the planet and it says "Cover the Earth."
Cover the earth in pain.
Oh my goodness. What is he running back and forth? Schweiss's kid is like running back and forth up the stairs. I have no idea what he's doing. It's driving me nuts though. But okay. On the freeway, and it has been there for like a year and a half. There's an old like haunted, like they do the haunted houses or whatever, and there's next to that haunted house there is a parking garage. Topping the parking garage it just says anal. Huge. Huge letters, dude. Huge. Some kid went up there, like, risked his life to spray paint anal very artistically on this fucking corner, like, wall of this fucking edifice. And every time I see it, I'm like, how the fuck has that not gotten rid of yet? Why are they leaving anal? The anal sign for everyone in Salt Lake Valley to see as they pass this on the freeway. It is insane.
Because it's funny as shit.
Oh my god.
It's like when those people in like California like put up a Trump Hollywood sign on like the one freeway or something. It's just funny.
There's like, I don't know. It's a little bit off-putting every time. I'm just thinking about like people with their kids in their car, like all this other shit. It's just
The
like,
kid's like learning how to read, and he just says it, and you like pop him.
Yeah.
You finally meet the guy that spray painted that, and it's like, so you must really like anal, huh? And he's like, no, God, poop comes from there. Are you kidding?
It was supposed to say anal.
Anal.
The annals of
The other,
time.
it's you said it's on the corner, so like the other corner says is cis, like it's supposed to be analysis. It just gets cut off by the corner.
It is another four-letter word, but I have no idea what it is. It might be the F
Is
word
it
or
fuck?
something. But
Oh, it's cunt. It's anal cunt.
it's
the
not
band-
easy to see from the freeway.
It's
The only one
it's
that's
the band-
facing the freeway, the only like side of that like parking garage thing is anal.
It's the band Anal Cunt. That's what they sprayed up there.
This spray.
I think it's anal and
cunt.
love, and then every time you come back, you just start singing the Metallica song.
Anal love.
Anal's a four-letter word. When you're going up, and then on the way back, you just
It is a
sing right.
four-letter word.
For stuff going in your ass.
No Life 3. Or just No Life with the 3 being the E. I'm not sure what they're doing there. What are your thoughts on paper straws?
Terrible.
You ever used one?
Yeah, a couple times. They're not great.
I hate paper straws.
They're not great.
I hate.
You can't have like the drink be your companion for like an
More
hour.
than 5 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta finish that
It's like
shit.
you better finish that drink right now, boy.
The one and only time I was forced to use a paper straw was in Universal. We got a root beer float. We were watching like the light show, and I didn't realize it was a paper straw until I went to like.
And then you ate the
wet
straw.
Wet paper already wigs me the fuck out. So like the idea of paper straws is just no, thank you.
Dude, it's an obscenity is what it is. It changes the flavor of everything. Like if you have a Diet Coke with the paper straw, it does not taste like anything you've ever tasted in your life. It's like foreign as hell. It's the most bullshit thing. And here's the thing. I love how it went from save the trees, use plastic bags, idiots, and now it's like now we can't save the.
They overcorrected.
They overcorrected by a lot because trees we can grow.
Phat, we have more trees on the planet than we did in 1970 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
we have more than the turn of the last century too. There are more trees in
I
North
didn't know
America.
that.
Yeah,
That surprises me actually.
than in 1900 because we grow them. We
Well,
can't grow
does
plastic.
Brazil have more trees? That's the question.
Yeah, they got enough.
Yeah,
But it's okay. I fucking hate paper straws, dude. It's so bullshit.
they're not great.
Well,
They're awful.
the thing that cheeses me off too is like they were pushing paper straws so hard for a couple of years, and then this pandemic hits, and you just see how many fucking masks are thrown in the ocean or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, man.
There's
Those paper
always
straws really did a lot
there's
of work,
always
huh?
a fucking mask on the street.
Yeah. You know what bugs me more than paper straws? People walking down the street alone wearing a mask. Like,
Oh my
what
God.
world? In what
People
world?
in their car, driving in their car with a paper mask.
You know,
I've accidentally kept
I've
the
done that
mask
too.
on. Yeah,
I was like calling someone out. I was like, what a fucking idiot. And then I was like, oh wait. And I pulled mine off.
you said
Yeah, I hate, dude. Oh man, I hate him.
it's interesting. I'm kind of when in Rome on the mask things. Like, I know if I'm in LA, like I went to California a few weeks ago. I guess it was a couple months ago now, but small town California don't care about the masks. LA cares about the masks. I'm like, okay,
Understandable. Also, sorry, Skull Hottie just said paper straws have the same structural integrity as old strippers. To bring it back to the strip club question.
But yeah, that mask thing is always
You
like,
get them wet and they just fall apart.
Jesus Christ.
The makeup comes off and you're like, oh.
Oh, is that what you mean? Okay.
When you
Yeah.
taste an old stripper, when you drink a Diet Coke from an old stripper, it's supposed to you are tasting something you've never tasted before.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's what the paper straw Diet Coke tastes like. Is the old.
I don't
stripper's
understand
pussy.
what's wrong with just an open cup. Like,
Oh yeah, or like Alex bought her own straws, and I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you buying
have,
your own
like, the
straws?"
metal
She's like,
straws?
"Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah," and she's like, "Oh, because they do paper straws," and I was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." And then I was in Disney, and I was like, "Oh, it's bad. This is horrid."
Yeah.
And I use
Yeah.
it for like 5 seconds, and it's like a limp noodle. I was like, dude, this what the fuck? Okay, this isn't even a straw. A straw is an item that you can use in your drink, like for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a thing that turns into your drink, and you just suddenly have more fiber in there than you ever thought you would.
if you're a restaurant that cares about that stuff, just don't give them a straw. You can
Yeah.
drink a drink without a straw. I don't know
usually
what this,
do.
like,
I don't
straw
really-
obsession is.
I don't really do straws. Unless
It's
they
nice
give
when
me
you're
one.
in the car. That's the
Yeah.
only time. But if you're at like a restaurant where you're actually going into it,
I
even
just
if
drink
it's a
with the
fast food
glass,
place,
yeah.
yeah, just drink the cup.
I don't-
Open
straws
cup.
are for
Yeah, like
children.
the only other time I could see a straw making sense is a movie theater, because then you're in like the
Yeah.
dark.
But I've never had. None of the movie theaters I've ever gone to has given me a paper straw. So
No, not same.
that doesn't seem to be a thing yet.
Oh, thank God.
Or why don't they just make like the coffee cup, like where the lid dips in?
and you
like the
divot
standard.
it? Yeah, where you can like close it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I hate them, dude. I think they suck.
I mean, I agree. I don't like the waste. I hate trash. So like
But it's one of those like feel good versus do good
Yeah,
kind of
it's not
things.
actually
It's
doing
like
anything good.
recycling.
Yeah,
recycling
exactly.
anything. It's not
performative.
metal.
It's performative environmentalism. It doesn't actually help.
That's what recycling is. Other than like metals, it's just a giant waste. You're better off just like letting it rot and then like going back and doing it again. Because like trees, it's easier and less expensive and more worthwhile to just grow more fucking paper than it is to recycle paper.
I mean, I personally grow a tree for every car battery I throw in the ocean. So
Exactly. Yeah. I'm doing my part. In case anyone's wondering. Yeah.
try to offset it. Yeah, offset my carbon footprint.
perfectly balanced as all things should be.
One tree for car battery.
That's pretty much what
But so yeah, there's like 14 trees growing out back.
I didn't plant them. I just allowed them to grow. I just didn't kill them. So I'm
Yeah,
taking
exactly.
credit for planting them. Because in a way. All right.
That's another. That's more.
complaint.
That's more plastic straw talk. Oh, okay.
This one did say another question. Why is Nude Klein a video game podcast? I keep forgetting that it's a video game podcast. I wouldn't mind more non-video game stuffs. Why is it? Because we were brought together for our love of video games. Why do we continue to make it not? Because we don't have time to play video games.
Why do we keep... I don't see that question.
He says, another question, why is Nude Klein a video game podcast? If we keep forgetting, I wouldn't mind more non-video game stuff. So I'm saying...
Oh, you're asking your own question
I'm
twice.
elaborating on
Oh, okay.
his question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Why is it a video game podcast? Because that was the original plan. We wanted to grow a new show out of Ultima, which was also a video game and is a video game podcast. And
it's still going.
Still going strong.
9,000 more years.
And you wouldn't mind more non-video game stuff? Yeah, there's going to be non-video game stuff throughout. I mean, we talk about all sorts of shit that we want to do.
We spent an entire 2 months, no, not 2 months, 4 months debating fast food. So
I don't know. I feel like, I don't think we started this way, but now, or it has been for a while, I think video games are just the catalyst. They're just like the thing to talk around.
Yeah.
It's like the subject to bring to the table so that you can then bounce off of it. Sometimes we do want to talk about the video game that we're playing. Sometimes you want to talk about your week. And like this show is not nearly as big as UFF. Probably because we're so off subject. I think that's at least part of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's also, we've discussed this internally, but the name Nude Clan doesn't exactly lend itself to a video game podcast. I love the name personally, but like it doesn't have Final Fantasy in the title. If we called this game the Among Us video game hour, it'd probably be a lot more popular, but you know.
And then we would be like, you're just amongst us. We're here and you're here too.
Maybe, but then I find out other people's download numbers for niche podcasts and I go, that's it?
Yeah. And then
we have never said what our downloads are, but we're
Well,
always
and
like,
I've said this a million times. Look, I've said this a million
Interesting.
times. No one in the West plays Dragon Quest. That's why UFF is doing so good, and Puff Power, I assume, is getting 4 downloads a year.
Actually, Puff Puff, not 4.
It's more like 12.
Okay, it's called a joke, but you know.
What's a Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's just interesting. Like, it's not anybody. We obviously know our numbers from our own podcast empire.
And I have disclosed it to various people throughout the years.
Yeah.
That also podcast.
Yeah, but
Just to flex. It's more like I'm just over there like.
I mean, I'm
stretching.
half the time I'm just surprised. Like, you guys are only doing 200 an episode or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who or anything like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to point fingers at...
one of our biggest competitors used to have numbers that I thought were ungodly, and we hit pretty near them
For a while,
in 2016 with UFF. We hit pretty near what Limit Break's downloads were, at least at the time when they disclosed the numbers, which they could have been even bigger by the time we got there or smaller. Who knows?
I thought you were talking about FFU.
No,
we blow them apart.
We don't know their numbers.
Easily
necessarily.
destroyed. Those British
They're
scum.
definitely beating us on YouTube by a lot. They hit
Algorithm's rigged.
It's not rigged.
It likes people with awful teeth and awful opinions. It's trying to figure out... No, the algorithm's trying to figure out which is worse, their teeth or their opinions. And it's not sure, so it's going to keep promoting them to see what the general public decides, and then they'll fall off.
YouTube is my job now, and there's just a lot of things I've learned about the platform that
those guys knew.
That I think that they were able to, maybe not knew, they might have known, they might have done that research. It is honestly a very complex environment to kind of game.
No, that's actually Schweiss was right though. So that's actually in the document that you send us about how to be better at YouTube. We just have to fuck up our teeth and have terrible opinions.
Yeah, that was part of the 20-page document about YouTube.
Just gotta take a rock and smash your mouth,
works.
and then just be like, actually,
I mean,
FF8 is good.
There's a lot of things having to do with YouTube, but then all those things kind of go out the window. If your video sucks.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so
and we know our videos don't suck. Objectively, they don't suck.
Our videos do.
They kind of
suck.
suck. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For YouTube, anyway.
For the platform, it's not good. We do really well on podcasts. We have gotten spam emails telling us we're in the top 1% of podcasts. So
hey,
that's
I
nice.
don't know if that's spam.
When are we gonna get a Blue Chew ad read? When are we gonna get the sponsorships?
We just need to ask. you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting though, like all that stuff. But yeah, as far as this being a video game podcast, like that's what we did as friends, and that's what we decided when there was 5 of us who were gonna do Nude Clan.
I mean, the reason that Zach and I are on the show is because of video games. It's because we played with you guys on PSN. So
Yeah, so it's still video game centric. But I mean, we also started these as like 2-hour episodes once a week when we were like way more willing to put in that much time. And so you're allowed to go off on tangents, honestly, with that much stuff. And I had been a big fan of Adam Carolla, so even though a Final Fantasy podcast is not a great place to go off on certain subjects, like that is at the time what felt like a podcast to me.
Well, and it's also just kind
going
of
off on
like,
random shit, and so I would
it's just
do
kind
it.
of the way that like conversation's naturally going to flow.
That's
You're going to
true.
like just, you know, take random directions based on what's being talked about.
That's true. That's true. It's
In
not
my,
great for
in my
YouTube,
experience being alive, that's how conversations with friends have just sort of like they diverge and go into different directions, and that's just
but yeah.
so like I know a lot of podcasts like to stay on topic and like try to have a structure, but honestly, it just feels more natural when they just kind of go off the rails. And honestly, I think there's a lot more room for humor when that is the case.
I agree.
Yeah, and to me, and I said this a while ago, the show's more about us and then us playing games than it is about the games, I think. And there's a philosophical difference between us and then a few of the past hosts, or one of the past hosts on that front, at least. So
Yeah, the other one was actually pretty hardcore in the other direction.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Didn't want to play games at all.
yeah, just wanted to play weird indie like half-baked games for her.
It's interesting. I don't know. Schweiss and I are just way more disciplined about shit, so even though it wasn't about the video games, we would still like made that a big priority to have something to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
There you go. And Roxo says he mostly listens for the non-video game content. So there'll be more of that.
I don't know. We'll see. It'd be interesting, I guess, to kind of delve into like possible the future of this show, because right now this show is in maintenance mode. It's just going where it's going right now. We're just doing this to have fun. We're not worrying about it. For anybody who watched for the 12 people who watched my my goals video for 2022, because I did that instead of doing it on the Getting Fat feed, I just did it on my YouTube channel, and that's still something I think about often. Like obviously, like before I left for LA, like I made that decision pretty quickly. It wasn't that much lead up to it, I guess. There was like a few months where I was like trying to make Nude Clan into, I guess I was just trying to make it a bigger show, like bigger, better kind of show. And I was like updating, YouTube stuff. I was updating the website and trying to get people on for interviews or whatever. And that lasted, my effort on that lasted about a month before I realized I should move to LA. And decided to quit the show. or
Right.
Maybe I'm getting the timeline wrong here, because I also had to make a movie. So it might have been make a movie and then move to LA. And so like Nude Clan went on the back burner for that. There is still a part of me that's like, well, I would like to do a generalized video game show of some kind. YouTube is now my job, and there's many things where I'm like, okay, if I were to come up with like a really obnoxious show about video games for YouTube, what would I do? And I have been thinking that and just kind of been mulling it over in my head. But it would still be video games, I think.
Yeah.
And if we go off the rails, I honestly wouldn't keep that in the YouTube content. I would have that as like extra content.
Yes, there's like a dilemma, I guess, internally of keep it the same and pare it down for YouTube and just have the podcast as the full Monty, or totally change everything. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. We
Yeah,
all have to be
it's
on the
kinda
same
like-
page.
it's an identity crisis where like there are things we could do to probably gain more popularity, or at least it would significantly increase the chances of the show getting more popular. But like it would require a lot of structural change to what you're hearing right now.
And
a
it
hell
would
of a lot of work.
And it would require a lot of work. That's the other thing.
A lot of discipline.
And so like and I'm making a movie right now. So there's that part of me that's just like I know right now, like as of right now, before the lead up to Chicken Coop and the eventual filming of Chicken Coop, not a good time for me to do that. So that's just like
Right.
Nude Clan's got to be just doing its own thing. But I know that I will probably be the one pushing for whatever we do next. So if we decide to keep the show as is and just keep on like hanging out once every month for 4 hours, whatever, then we do that. But we just have to be on the same page about it. But there's definitely some talks about, evolving the show possibly into another format. Or if we keep this format, how do we make it a better podcast? So there's a whole bunch of questions up in the air about that. But I think it will always be about video games. I don't think it'll ever not be. I think that's the only subject where we feel like we could probably talk for hours on and not feel like frauds. Maybe.
Yeah.
At least me.
Well, yeah, video games have been like a lifelong obsession, if you want to call it that. So I feel the same way.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Unless we started the Sonic the Hedgehog podcast, but then I guess that's kind of redundant anyway.
Yeah.
More video games.
Well, because the Sonic the Hedgehog is a video game, but I could also delve into the fucking cartoons and the comic books and all that other dog shit. So
Oh, well, you'll be doing that for 8 years.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 2014
Probably
to
longer
2022.
because Sonic
What
games
the
come
fuck?
out.
We're on year 8 of UFF, or almost.
Right. Well, I was going to say Sonic games probably come out more often than Final Fantasy games. So
I don't know
Who
about
knows?
that.
They're a lot shorter, I'm guessing.
They
They
might come
are.
out more often, but like average per year, I bet you Final Fantasy's more. For a year since it came out. Oh yeah.
With that polymorphic content reign we had for about 5 years, it's half the games.
5 years of stupidity.
Jesus.
So we'll have to look at it though. But you're wrong. I know you're wrong. You Sonic whore.
Sonic whore.
the great game franchise bracket.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a fun one too. Shit. Chase versus all. Has Craig told his girlfriend/wife about the vanilla guy? Craig says yes. She has been traumatized by an experience with him,
But
which
never went into details about
I
that.
don't know how.
With him. How was there an experience with him when his sister was not with him while they've been dating?
I'm gonna summon Craig and see if he answers the call.
Do you think he'll do it?
Yeah, he's in another Discord just by himself in VC, so he could technically come in here.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we can get the story. Although oh no, I don't think he will. Oh no, he might now, because the reason why he wouldn't is because of certain people still being around, and I don't think those people are still around.
Oh, he did say he might come on to talk about finish the Vanilla Guy saga. Do you remember that? That was months ago.
yeah.
He just teased that as like a possibility. We'll see, because that is the kind of the answer to the next question. I think this should probably be our last question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Might and Magic says, will we ever get a reunion episode with the whole cast involved? A4, Zach, Cam, Craig, Schweiss, and Joe.
It's up to the others.
Yeah, Cameron and Craig are the kind of the two outliers there.
They are always invited.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
perma invite. If they just decided they wanted to be on the show, they just walked in here, I would not give a fuck.
Didn't Craig say he'd be willing to come on to review Xenoblade Chronicles?
He said that a year ago. Yes.
Right.
If I were
Well,
to
no,
beat
there was
it.
another game he beat that we haven't reviewed yet, but he was scheduled to review, and I forget what it was.
Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
Possibly, yeah.
Definitely. I would kind of want to answer this other one though.
Okay.
Who's the vanilla guy? We already mentioned it. It's the 1,000-Year Door, Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door episode. Listen to the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
No, it's longer than that.
Listen to the last hour of that.
You gotta start at I think it's at 1 hour 16 or something.
Oh, I think you're right. It's in
And
the
then
teens
it goes,
of the hour.
and
Yeah.
then it just fucking goes.
It's pretty great. And what's the panel's favorite podcast? Now, I think we should answer this in two ways. Our favorite podcast that's not ours, and our favorite podcast episode of ours.
Right.
Favorite podcast that is ours, I'll go with first. And do we want to do podcast episode or the show?
Probably podcast episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Of this show.
Of this show, it's Bounty Hunter. I'm the least funny person on there during that episode, so I can just listen to it as a fan of the episode itself. It's really fucking funny, and it makes me laugh hard. A close second would be me talking a lot of it. I think Alone in the Dark and New Nightmare is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
those are both top tier episodes for sure. I guess for the sake of not picking those, the only other one that I can think of that really comes to mind is I think it's an After Dark where Schweiss was talking about Jace coming in while he and Alex were having sex,
Yeah.
and he says Jason's like, "Tickle her, Caleb, tickle her,"
Yeah, that's
pretty
the
funny.
foam fingers and
and maple syrup.
maple syrup episode. Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
great.
that's a great After Dark.
Oh,
Well, a lot of the early After Darks are super fucking funny.
I re-listened to I re-listened to the one where I talk about Bianca at my old work the other day because I was texting someone and someone we brought her up and I was like, okay, I couldn't remember the story, and now I remember the lines of why don't you ask one of your other little Mexican girls? Still hilarious. By the way. Guys, what are you doing?
All right. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was funny because that was just a fail on your end. It was all just a failure. A failure of Joe.
Why don't you ask one of your other little Mexican girls? It was Well, it's funny. I told that to this person I was texting who knew her. She was like, she probably liked you. I'm like, I don't think she did like me. I think she didn't like me at all. And
Do you think it was because of that, or you think she just thought you were?
I think she might have thought I was just a skirt chaser and was going after women who didn't like me.
No.
I think that might have been part of it. It wasn't the case, but I think that might have been part of it for sure. But I have no idea because she's really hard to read. Because it's just an imposter. She has no social skills. This person.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
I think my top one is definitely Bounty Hunter. The number two, I do listen to the Alone in the Dark one a lot. That one's pretty funny. I really like the Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory episode as well.
I was gonna say, Cyber Sleuth was a good one.
And another one that I truly love, I think it was Mortal Kombat. It was the one with the puss face thing. I've listened to that, and I listened to that probably 6 months ago, and I was crying to the point where I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard because you guys were so upset. Joe was so mad at me about that. He's like, "What are you talking about? What are you always gonna say these gross crap? Your nasty analogies." And I was like, "What do you mean? I just puss face. Everybody says that, right?" And then you guys revealed it, and then Cameron's just like, "Yeah, all the kids are saying it." That one was great. The Parasite Eve 2, there's a few parts in that one that are hilarious. The part where I asked Craig if he if he was alone in a room with a bullet and the game, and he had to play the game or shoot himself, what would he do? And he's like, "I'd shoot the game and starve to death." That was pretty good. So a lot of those
I think the best one with this cast, it might be Dungeon Siege Tale.
Yeah, that was
I
a
think
good
it might
one.
be In the Name of the King.
What is my favorite of the new quote unquote episodes?
The In the Name of the King Dungeons. I listened to that one 3 times.
Let me
So
look at the thumbnails and see if I can figure this one out.
mostly to relive how horrible that movie is. for some reason.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That one is one I was thinking about earlier, though. I was thinking about how funny that movie was. when I was looking at my hog
The-
list.
Well, the episode's funny.
The episode where you talked about like sending a dildo through the mail or something.
Oh
might have
yeah,
been funny.
that was early.
Actually, no, I lied. It's the episode where Joe is living in the back of his car and looking at his fucking
Oh,
Schwarzenegger poster.
the short
trying to
bus
suck his own
one.
dick.
Yeah, I listened to that a week after it came out, and I was dying. I thought that was hilarious.
Short
Those
bus.
legs come up.
Who's got that fat ass? For some reason, I know you guys laughed a lot on that one, but
Yeah.
we all clicked on the link. That one's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and I remember the link. I can still see it in my head.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, the gay test, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
the Kinsey scale.
The Kinsey scale. That was a funny ass episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of these are video game reviews.
No.
One of them was a review.
That's
the
probably
Dungeon
why-
Siege Tale review is pretty funny.
That's probably why people like Roxo love the non-video game content.
because we get all serious.
Well, we just
with the
have to
video
play
game.
more bad games.
Yeah, I mean that is a big difference between the show before and this one. Is like, because we did a voting thing and we would nominate games that we haven't played but wanted to play. Like sometimes those games would be bad.
Yeah, and sometimes people would intentionally
would-
do bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Patreon, the Patreon donors.
We should do. I honestly kind of want to do it again because I as much as it's like hard and cringy.
I
to get
worry
through,
about Zach's not here, so but there's a part of me that definitely worries about like, would Zach be able to do that?
I can message him right now and see while we're waiting to see if Craig
Quick,
comes on the
2
damn
seconds.
Like, would Zach be able to do? And I know the answer is no. I know Zach doesn't want to have any hard deadlines.
Well, it's not so much the hard deadline,
show. Yeah, we could put out a vote and not have a deadline based on it.
but see if you don't have any, then it never happens.
That's something
Like
else we
Cuphead.
just know about all these people.
And you know how many times I've beaten Cuphead?
if you don't have a deadline, and it can even be like a nice deadline, it could be like 2 months out. If you don't have a deadline, it's not happening.
Although we did give a deadline to Bayonetta and Cuphead. Those are ones we just chose to play.
Yeah, I mean that was on our new rules of just like,
Play whatever you want.
play whatever you want, but then kind of go, oh, can we try to beat this before this? And the answer is yeah, or no. But it's not, this is the game, this is the order that we're going in, this is the game you play next.
I mean, if you're gonna nominate games for voting, maybe put a moratorium on like long ass JRPGs because like
They
Cuphead's
would-
hard.
fucker over here wouldn't do that. It's like stop nominating RPGs. We
Like
do not.
Cuphead's hard, but it's also like 8 hours long. So
It took me 50 hours.
and that's
the first
including
time.
all the times I died. So
It took me 50 hours to beat it the first time.
wow.
Yeah,
That was
it
always
Well, you
one
had
of the
stick
things.
drift,
I
so
always
that's kind of a
I
you're
was
throwing the bell curve off there.
I always tried to have the rule of no RPGs, and it was always ignored.
Let the market decide.
Fuck that shit.
But you're most of the
I'm not
fans
the
of the
market.
show are from Ultima, so they already like RPGs.
I know,
So
the
they
market's
always
skewed.
would. They would always freaking vote
You
for
and
RPGs.
your regulations to stop the skewing to one side.
No, you had to balance out the
I
show.
want you guys to play.
Look.
I want you guys to play Super Mario RPG as much as the next guy. But I mean,
We could always just do that on the inside and not have like some insider trading of, hey, no RPGs, or I swear to God, I'll make you play something I know you're gonna hate.
We had that, and it was ignored, or like
Yeah.
because all
it
four hosts.
turned into a review of Digimon World 3 eventually.
I mean, you could punish someone by just like all four hosts like nominating a game that. Yeah, man. I don't know. I thought it was a great system, but it's only a great system if like you have the time for it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
What's your favorite podcast though, outside of this?
Man, that's tough. Because there are Joe Rogan episodes I deeply love.
Yeah.
Basically, all the ones with Alex Jones, right?
The Alex Jones ones are hilarious. Those are great. I really like the Jordan B. Peterson podcast
Yeah, classic.
quite a lot. And then still love How Did This Get Made? That's probably my old like How Did This Get Made? Adam Carolla Show. Like those are great. Like great comedy podcasts. I love those.
Zach says he'd be down for the voting. By the way, if there were no hard deadlines.
What about soft deadlines?
Yeah, so
Malleable, like
What does that
chubby,
mean?
chunky deadlines. Just like kind of a little on the chubbier end. A little high on the
they
BMI.
mean soft. They mean soft deadlines. Where
I-
you go like try to beat it by January.
Let's see how this goes next month. with the ones
Yeah.
that we said we were gonna do. He's playing them, so maybe we could do that.
Okay. I mean, I just like the audience. The audience participation of
that.
it is like a big part of that.
I miss it, and I
Yeah.
honestly think we should try the campaigning and like come out with like campaign videos and like.
We're
Like
never gonna
50
do
Cent Blood on the Sand said in 2009, "Fuck you, bitch." Is this the kind of game you want on your video game podcast?
I listened to the 50th Law. That was my second audiobook of the year
Yeah,
this year. Yeah. Not great. Not great.
yeah.
Robert Greene books are usually a lot of fun, but this one was
What was the
not.
49th law?
They skipped it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There was actually like a few different points, but they kept on returning to it. Like I thought it was just a super repetitive book for being like a really short book. It kept on
Oddly.
returning back to 50 Cent getting shot. I'm like, I know he got shot. You
Is
told
the
me last
50th law of
chapter.
power? Is the 50th law of power that if you go do a show in Afghanistan and they pay you in a diamond encrusted skull and it gets stolen, you have to get that shit back?
Probably.
It's probably the 51st rule.
No, the 50th law was be fearless, by the way. Be fearless. And it was like 9 chapters about how fearless 50 Cent is.
I don't know. He wore a bulletproof vest for a while. I
it
think
was
that's
The
fearful.
second to last chapter was pretty good. And people who are interested in that, just skip there.
Yeah, I really like. For me, I really like the Jordan B. Peterson podcast. He's definitely my favorite public speaker ever. Well, I mean, so far, I guess. I really like. I listen to the Ben Shapiro show all the time. I guess that's one. But
can't
that's kind of
stand
like
that
a.
shit.
That's kind of like a dirty, nasty political show, and I don't always listen to that. When I feel like being like, that's when I'll do it.
Yeah, when you feel like being filled with like bias and hate.
Well, I can see the bias though. I really can.
He is
And it's like-
occasionally funny.
He is funny. I
But-
think he's pretty funny sometimes. But
I
I definitely can see
do
the
not
bias
agree
of
with
it.
him in many respects, and I think that the way he's just as dirty as the people that he says are dirty, with the way that they do.
Right,
things.
but his difference, the whole point he's making is he's honest about it, and they pretend that they're objective. At least, I mean,
All right,
I
whatever.
prefer that too, but I know what you mean. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I think that's the worst possible thing, and that's the one you're going to go with every time. I'm like, yeah, it's a little negative, but I take it with a grain of salt. I also haven't been listening to it for a little while, because I've just been too busy at work. So
You've been
it's not the
too
end of the
busy to
world.
listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I really like the Jocko podcast. I think that guy's awesome. He's got some great leadership stuff.
I can't stand him.
Really? You don't
Yeah,
like Jocko?
I really don't like Jocko, man.
Why?
Here's the deal, because my dad, honestly, is like he has given me a very different perspective on people in the army.
He's in the Navy SEALs.
I know. That's the thing. They were. I think the only people that Special Forces don't make fun of are the Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
But it is that like, I think the difference in attitude, at the Special Forces, like we don't talk about it. We don't publish books on shit we do. We don't do like any of the nothing flashy.
Yeah.
It's go in, be covert, kill some people, leave.
Yeah.
And don't talk about it. And like when my dad's like Special Forces buddy they're usually like telling jokes and shit to each other. They're not being like all like the disgusting nature of like the hyper military guy. I have been, I guess, inundated with the exact opposite approach my entire life. And like him and the David Goggins guy, they just kind of make me nauseous.
Well, he's not that crazy. He's not David Goggins.
No, I
crazy.
know he's not that crazy. But it is we're soldiers and my whole life's about being a soldier. And I kid you not, my dad and his friends would make fun of other soldiers that were like that. They make fun of the Rangers especially because they're all like, yeah, the Rangers would just come in and kick a door down and like and they make fun of the fact that they're so loud and obnoxious about everything.
Yeah.
And when my dad, I don't know, the military like lifestyle and thing was totally different with my stuff, and that stuff looks so, because of the perspective I got through him, it just looks so silly.
Well, I don't know. This
It
guy
looks
was
silly.
He was the leader of the most successful task force in the entire Iraqi war, so.
And I'm
That's
sure he
pretty
told you about it.
hardcore. Only a little bit.
That's the difference.
But his whole shtick is like try to be a good leader.
It's the Special Forces guys, and according to like some friends I had who were in the military, it seems like the special forces guys, the Green Berets specifically, are like that, where they just like quiet, don't talk about it, don't make them.
That's how most of most of the Navy SEALs are too, and he mentions that too.
He's just like the one-off obnoxious guy,
I don't think
and the
he's-
guys who wrote the books about killing Osama bin Laden, and they'd be on the talk shows and shit.
Yeah.
I just think I think that kind of like overt in your face militarism I think is so fucking silly.
Yeah.
And
I think
Jocko
you're
is-
caricaturing him a little bit much. But
Oh,
he
I've
does go a
listened.
little
I've
hard.
listened to him for many hours, thanks to Joe Rogan and thanks to Jordan Peterson. I have now had about 6 hours of time with Jocko, and I do not like him.
Oh, see, I liked him immediately.
I mean, it is like I realize he's saying a lot of good shit. It's just like him, the gung ho-y military angle. I think it's so.
He's just a gung ho person, though. It's not necessarily.
I mean
just
that might
military.
be that might be part of it, but I don't think it's as badass. I much prefer the stoic soldier than
I
the-
do too, but none of us are stoic. So
That's
the thing
true.
that
I'm
I'm like,
not.
we're a loudmouth pieces of shit.
Well, that's why I look up to my dad's pretty like, at least when it comes to that stuff. Like I know he's seen some shit. He never fucking talks about that. He'll talk about like what funny thing happened during training.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about the
He
drug
doesn't-
missions that
well,
I
I
know
mean-
that he's like ran.
I know they don't talk about the missions though. He never talks
Yeah.
about the missions. He talks about like overall stuff.
And my dad also like when it comes to like improving, like being in shape and all that shit. He also doesn't like go off like David. My dad's just like, just go for a run 4 miles a day.
Yeah.
Stick to the middle.
I mean, your dad is chubby though, so
He is now. My dad's 60 years old, Schweiss.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, David Goggins ain't 60. So, he's like 40.
Yeah. David Goggins is going to destroy himself, like, physically.
Yeah. I think Jocko's like in his 50s, but
Yeah.
he's a freak though.
I do prefer Jocko over David Goggins.
I think David Goggins is meme worthy and hilarious, but I have his book and I haven't started it yet.
I mean, I've heard it's a great book. And I like that he used to be 300 pounds. I mean, that makes me feel good. But like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. No, I think Jocko's great. And his underground podcast is pretty awesome. And then he has an unraveling show where they talk about like shit hitting the fan basically in like different countries. Like they go into World War One, they went into like the Iraq War and like all the things that went into it. It's a really cool like historic podcast. But the guy he does it with, he does a podcast called Martyr Made, and that's probably one of my favorite podcasts too. It's like it's in the same vein as Dan Carlin shows, just really long, like big fucking podcasts that take forever to make.
a great show when he does them.
It's good, yeah. I kind of like
Hardcore history.
the Martyr Made one though. They had one on Jim Jones and the People's Temple one, and it's like probably like 15 hours of podcasts.
That's
and
a
it's
fucking crazy story.
It's really good. It's probably the best podcast series I've ever listened to.
Okay.
I think it's better than any of the hardcore histories that I've listened to. It's crazy. And it's one of those things that scares me. And that's why I've listened to it twice. But I haven't listened to the last episode because the last episode's where it all like just goes nuts. And it's like 4 hours long. I haven't listened to that one again because that one like fucked me up for a while.
Okay.
And I kind of want to make a movie out of it. I think I'd be like a crazy script and like the way
Might have.
they have movies on it, but it's like
Yeah.
the guy's like a caricature. He's just like a crazy zany dude. But there's a lot of in this podcast. He dives into like this guy did a lot of good for a lot of people, and that's why they followed him. Everyone just wants to be like, oh, they drink the Kool-Aid. They're just stupid religious rubes, and it's like, no, he really did do a lot for his community, like a ton. And then he just slowly over the years just went off his rocker. And I think it's crazy listening to that. That's the kind of like stuff I like to listen to. The dark, the descent into madness and chaos.
I like to listen to shit that makes me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh, and and things that are interesting, but I don't.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those are some of my favorites, and I really like them. But they don't come out with podcasts that often. The Martyr Made one especially. So
A4.
My favorite podcast of all time is no longer running. it was called Reckless Media Radio, spelled with a W. It was just like a few guys out of Detroit, and it was mostly just like random conversation, flowing from one topic to the next or whatever. And I'm not sure if the humor would hold up to me now. I mean, I have nostalgia for like the jokes they were telling and stuff, but it was all like kind of what do you call it? Like spur of the moment, sort of like absurdist shit. They would just say like random shit that like made no sense, and I found that really funny as an early 20-year-old.
All right.
As for the ones that are currently running, it's probably a toss up between like Cumtown, Legion of Skanks, The Dick Show, and Who Are These Podcasts is also great, where they like review podcasts, usually just shitting on them.
What?
Why
would you listen to a podcast reviewing podcasts?
Because it's great.
That's a little too
usually
much.
just no, man, it's great because like they'll find some really bad podcasts, and occasionally they find like a podcast that's so bad, and then the person like who runs that podcast like reacts so negatively to it that they become like a recurring segment on the show. But mostly it's like shock jocks. Like he constantly harps on Stuttering John Melendez from Howard Stern, because like Stuttering John does a podcast that's fucking terrible. Opie from Opie and Anthony does a podcast that's fucking terrible now. That show's great. But I'd probably Cumtown is my favorite, just because like I consistently laugh every week I listen to that show. They're fucking great.
So nasty title.
Which is funny too, because they're like actively trying to make like the worst possible podcast, but they're just so funny.
Oh, okay. I mean, I try not to make the worst podcast, and we end up.
Well, Cumtown's like one of the most like they're like one of the highest earners on Patreon.
Really?
Like currently. Yeah, seriously.
I would never
at this
listen
point,
to
like,
something
at this
called
point-
Cumtown.
It's pretty funny. I listen to it
Because they're funny, but like I think like they've in like recent months they've just been like, we'll just keep making the show shittier and shittier until everyone stops subscribing to the Patreon, and then we can finally be free of this fucking nightmare.
Okay, all right, I can.
But like they're so naturally funny together that like I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped listening to it, but that's a lot of that's because I don't have time.
Yeah. Their bits are so fucking funny. I can't do them justice. You'd have to just look up clips. Trust me, there are plenty of YouTube channels dedicated to just putting Cumtown clips up on YouTube. If you wanted to like give it a shot, Joe, and listen to some clips.
I'll listen. I got a
think,
3-hour drive ahead of me, so I can do that.
I also don't think it's your style of humor, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
What's my style of humor? What is that?
I don't think it's
Hold
Cumtown.
on. What do you think? Okay, out of the famous comedians working today, what do you think? What do you think are in my top 3? What's just name one.
Working today,
like like famous ones, like ones that are household names everywhere.
I guess like
who do you think is
Adam
my
Carolla,
favorite? Who do you think is my favorite stand-up comedian?
Louis C.K. maybe.
Okay, that was pretty. Yeah.
That's my. That's mine too. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I got a top 3. Can you guess my other 2? I just want to see if you can like guess what kind of stuff I would listen to.
No, I know. Because I'm trying to think of some big comedians. Like I don't listen to a lot of like the big comedians. Like I'm thinking like Bert Kreischer, but I don't think you're really a big fan of him.
I don't know actually who that is.
I want to say Dave Chappelle, but I almost feel like he's become too like persona non grata as of late.
I don't care about persona non gratis. I like Louis C.K.
Right.
I bought his last 2 specials that are only available on his website. He has a brand new one.
Nice.
It's hilarious. They're both great.
He is super fucking funny.
No, my top 3 right now, working today. I actually, well, there's one persona non grata famous comedian I said before I would listen to again, but I actually tried to, and I'm like, I can't actually listen to this guy. That would be Bill Cosby. I was just like, oh no. Like he makes jokes about like little kids and shit, and I'm just like, I don't even know where this is like. I don't know where the psycho stops with this guy. So
yeah.
That's that was actually one guy where
you can't separate the art from the artist.
He definitely would have been in my top 3 before the yeah. No, I would go
For
Louis
the whole
C.K.
rape thing.
Louis C.K., Bill Burr, and Jim Gaffigan are probably my favorite.
I don't know why
three.
I didn't say Bill Burr. That should have been obvious. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. I don't know.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
He used to be.
I used to
pretty
love
funny.
Jim Gaffigan
He's
when I
still
was like
great. He
in
has a
middle
brand new
school.
special, and it had me rolling on the ground.
Nah, I
Dude,
don't know.
his
Maybe it's
last
just-
3 specials have all been like amazing. I like what was it, Ape, and then I don't remember the names of them honestly, but it's his last 3. I've listened to every single one of his specials. I think he gets better with time too. I think he's better now than he ever has been. So you should go check out Jim Gaffigan's stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, those are my favorites. So that's I don't know what kind of sense of humor that is, because I feel like Jim Gaffigan's pretty different from Louis C.K. and Bill Burr, who are kind of both ranty kind of
Yeah,
guys.
they're kind of like.
When they're all different from Cumtown.
What's
the one- oh,
you
God,
said
they're like
absurdist. I mean, I like Conan O'Brien. He's absurdist.
No, I know, but like,
he's pretty
it's
funny.
less absurdist and more just like stream of consciousness, where they were like thinking of Colonel Mustard from Clue, and then they said, "What about Colonel Bustard?" And then like they were thinking of pickup lines to be Colonel Bustard, and it's like, "My name's Colonel Bustard, and I got a clue for you." And he's like, "Hey, my name's Oscar Mayer because I'm Myron that pussy, and Oscar like Oscar the Grouch because I'm mad because I'm not fucking you right now."
Yeah, that's a hot.
Like it's like almost not trying humor, but like it's very good like 3 a.m. humor basically.
all right. All
That's
right.
usually what I
Everything's funny,
listen
you know what I
to.
mean?
Yeah.
All right.
When you're like delirious.
I'll have to check it out. that sounds funny.
3
I'll have to
a.m.
check it
like
out.
fever dream podcast.
Yeah.
Slap it on when you're hallucinating.
Where it'll be like where they'll just be like, man, J.K. Rowling wrote an Asian bitch into Harry Potter, and then she decided, what if we name this bitch Cho Chang? That's not racist, right? Like stuff like that.
I don't know what kind of a name Cho is. I don't think Cho's a Chinese name.
I don't know.
I don't think it. I think that'd be more Japanese sounding to me.
I don't know. It all sounds the same.
And also, she never does say that she's Asian in the book.
Well, she was Asian in the movie.
We could have assumed
also, her
she
name
was
is Cho
Asian.
Chang.
Because her last name was Chang, we could have just assumed that she was Asian, but
Yes.
So really, the
The
director
director of the
racist.
Harry Potter movies certainly did.
Mike Newell, I believe, is the director of the 4th movie. That's the
I don't
one with
remember.
Cho Chang in it. But yeah. Anyway, she never actually says it in the book. Like, you just assume because her last name is Chang, but
Yeah.
she never actually
What
says
other
it.
race would have the last name Chang?
I don't know.
Someone who's like distant father or grandfather was Chinese, and it moves on from there.
Yeah.
Man, their eyes just got normal over generations.
How dare you?
I don't know. Yeah, I never thought.
I
about
get it. I get it. Asian chicks are hot. I'm with Harry Potter on this one.
I don't usually see the characters the way they look in the books. I don't like. That's not how I picture books. I don't know. It's weird.
You don't see the. Oh, okay.
I do sometimes, but like most of the time, I'm like, oh, it didn't match the character, and I'm like, I don't know. I care about the things that happen. I, don't
I
really-
hear the name.
Yeah, I
and
don't
it's
care about what they
blop
look
in
like.
my head. It's just a blop.
Yeah, or if the show comes out, and I'm like, sorry, they're just the show now. That's just how it is.
That is a problem. Like I do remember in my mind what Harry Potter looked like in my head
Wasn't
before.
quite the same, right?
It was more like the cartoony Harry Potter you'd see on the
covers,
merchandise and shit.
Yeah,
Like
super frizzy, crazy hair,
yeah.
like just kind of zany,
kind of skinny, kinda.
and like big clothes.
But
and, yeah,
Daniel Radcliffe,
now that's Harry Potter.
yeah, now it's
Yeah.
Harry Potter. It's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough to
same with
separate the two.
Frodo.
Yeah, Frodo's yeah.
Of course, I watched the movies way before I read the books. So that's probably why I watched the movie like 7 times.
I mean, Bilbo in my head was the cartoon Bilbo from the Hobbit movie cover, because I
The
never
Rankin
saw
Bass
the
one?
movie, but I saw the cover and I was like, that must be Bilbo. And so in my head, Bilbo's a cartoon.
And everyone else is a normal human.
But I'll be honest, I mean, The Hobbit came out late enough that when I think of Bilbo, I don't think of what's his face from the British Office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think of Martin Freeman.
Huh. That's fair.
So I mean, probably just because I'm older and I was more familiar with. Like I read The Hobbit like 4 times before that movie ever came out.
Yeah, I always was like, oh, it's a kid's book, and then I read it, and I was like, I mean, maybe the first half.
The
but-
dwarves, though, are
damn.
actually way easier to pick apart in the movie. than in the books. Like it was hard to like track the dwarves in the books because
Yeah.
all their names they always had a
Kinda the same.
pairing name.
Yeah.
But in the movie, they actually did a really good job of making sure all of them like looked unique, and so that actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
So
It's too bad the first movie's the only good one, and then it was only okay. I didn't watch the other two.
the
I
first
didn't
one's
like them.
not good.
Oh,
I
really?
think totally the opposite on that one.
The other two are better?
Power rankings on the Hobbit movies, it's 2, 3, 1.
Oh, okay.
2 is actually pretty darn good.
One's
That's
got
the-
a great song. It's like the ultimate song.
Yeah, the song's amazing.
That's all I remember.
Not that any of
And the
those,
barrel
not that
race.
any of them are perfect movies. I think 2 is overlong. But 2 is
Was 2 the Desolation of Smog?
yeah,
And then what's the third one? There and Back Again?
yeah,
Okay.
Here we
I
go
didn't see any of
again.
the Hobbit movies.
yeah. It's a horrible title. No, but it's the one with the dragon in it, and it's like it's pretty damn good. That second one. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's not Lord of the Rings level.
Oh,
but
I mean, nothing is, so.
as like a big budget Hollywood movie, yeah.
The thing
Second
has-
one's pretty damn good.
Last
The-
Lord of the Rings movie has like 30 endings, and it's still one of the
The
best
first
movies.
one, I think, the first one is like hard to watch for me. Like it's like really.
That's
clunky.
probably why I never watched the other ones. I have a one and done policy with movies. That's why
Desolation of Smog is really good. It's not like again, I'd say it's about twice the movie that the first one was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the third one has problems, but I think it's got more going for it than the first one too.
Nah. All right, well.
Okay.
Shit, there you go.
All right, guys. Next episode is episode 300 of Nude Clan. I'm about to murder some children that are running up and down the stairs. And I would suggest that they run far, far away from me here in about 5 seconds. And
I'm gonna murder my toilet.
yeah, that's good to
I
know.
suggest it run far,
anyway,
far away.
Next time is episode 300. Please send in your Q&As for an epic Q&A, and Zach should be there next time. So we'll have a full set of hosts, and we'll do that. And yeah, guys, February 6th is when we should be.
Yeah. I think we
recording
should
that.
each submit one question, too. A host's episode.
Oh,
three.
okay.
Ooh.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll submit like 90.
I know you will. That's
Anyways,
why I said one.
we will see you guys next time.
Live always in the nude.
Walk with your cock held high.
Accidentally cut it.
That's okay.
It just was like.
It's all right. I'll add it in post.